everyone, welcome back to the channel, Mystical Mediumship, community that we're all a part of. I'm so happy to have you all here again. I have a lot of gratitude for all of you. There's so many topics I want to talk about that I'm overwhelmed with excitement, if you will. Sorry, I did not mean to kick the camera. That I was sitting here meditating, and one of my favorite crystals is a selenite crystal. I love these. That I keep debating, and I keep asking them which one do they want me to discuss, and sometimes my spirit guides will say, well, it's what you want and we'll just help you with it. I'm like, that doesn't help me. I want to be able to help the collective more, or give discussions that resonate with people, not just myself. But one that I think is of importance, that I think we often don't think about a lot, is fear. And fear can be anything, right? Fear of letting our parents down, fear of letting our partners down in a connection, fear of failure, fear of letting our bosses down, fear of letting our siblings down, fear of letting ourselves down, fear of however it resonates with you, right? Fear can be so many things. So what I was getting was, and I've learned this too recently through an experience, and because I've heard it, I kept hearing it, and I thought, I don't really believe it. So I like it when I hear it in meditations, and then you get to learn those tough lessons, because it's like source or God or your guides, whatever resonates with you, that, well, you don't hear the lesson, or you don't hear what we're telling you, we'll give you a really tough lesson, and then you'll understand what we're telling you. So I got that experience too, so I got it both ways. So trust me, this is true. Fear is an illusion, and I didn't quite understand that for a long time. And my friends and family would say, "Oh, you're fearless. Yes, I don't have fears. Like, I'm not like the typical person. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm not a claustrophobic person. I'm not afraid of flying. I'm not afraid of fire. I'm not afraid of running into a building. I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of a lot of things, right? And I've experienced a lot of things that people would probably find very frightening. And I do not find a lot of those things frightening. And so I almost have, like, I enjoy adrenaline in a lot of ways. So yes, I'm not but I find fear in other things. So I kept hearing, oh, but fear, fear is what our soul, or what our reality is, right? We mirror it. Fear is within us. It's in our soul, and we project what our own internal wounds are that we have not healed. So it might be something we learned at a young age, that's been ingrained in us, that we were taught, or that we heard repeatedly from society. You're not good enough if. So those are things that can start to create fear in people that they're not aware of until it faces them. And that sometimes are the more scary fears to deal with, because it's easier to say you're afraid of heights or you're claustrophobic than revealing your most inner, most intimate types of fears, right? Because who wants to broadcast that on YouTube for everyone to see? I don't think very many people. Um, so you first have to have that sense of self-awareness of, what is this fear? Where is it coming from? And why am I having this sense of fear? So I realized that's what a lot of us have to be able to do, is go through that introspective work, which is called shadow work, right? Where we have to look at our and it's usually hidden from us. That's why it's shadow work. It's our subconscious. It's stuff we usually are unaware of. But we all have it. We all have light and dark in us. You can't have light without dark. So it's having that healthy balance within us, because we can't have day without night, right? You're out of balance. So you have to have a healthy balance. But I'm talking about those more extreme fears that might hold you back in life. That's what you want to be able to deal with or cope with, because those may seem very real, and some of them, I'm not saying are not, but they also are projections that you've learned somewhere, but they're also illusions. And if you can get to the root of where is that fear coming from, you can then say, oh, it isn't real. This is where it's stemming from. And you can all of a sudden literally rid yourself of it within minutes. Not that you don't think of it sometimes, but it's gone. That anxiety or that stress or that sense of holding you back from doing something you may really want to do, or that sense of guilt from doing something that you might like doing or want to do, is gone, because you realize it's not real. It's an illusion. It's a mirror. It's something you've projected onto yourself, or something someone's given to you that you now have taken on and have been telling yourself. But it's not real. It's because the only thing that is real, honestly, that is true, is love. So fear cannot exist with love, because fear is of the lowest vibration and love is of the highest vibration. So they're incongruent. They cannot exist together. So you cannot have fear and have love at the same time. So if you can understand where the root of that fear is coming from, you can erase the fear and replace it with love. It might be for love of self, love of a parent, love of a child, love of understanding of why maybe that fear originated, and giving it forgiveness and compassion, and then letting it go. And now there's just love, but it's replacing it with love, because it's the only vibration that really exists, and that is the only thing that exists. And that's the only thing our souls really exist in and with and live within and live forever in, is love. So if you can think of what we think of energy in terms of dark and light, or low vibration and high vibration, if you can put fear in the lowest vibration type of energy, and then love, which is the way we're supposed to be, in the highest type of vibration, then you cannot have both within you, because you yourself would split apart, right? So you have to imagine how to let go of something that is not real, because you cannot exist with both of them in you. And obviously, you're a being of love, not a being of pseudo fear, because we're not made up of something that's not real. Because then you are imaginary. You're just an illusion and you don't exist. And I don't think that's probably really true, is it? I think you're probably a real person who has love in there. Maybe you're afraid to love. So you have to figure out why you're afraid to love. And that's okay. That's something a lot of us have to work through. But that's just an illusion too. But you're a being of love. So it's just working through that, and that's fine too. So it's how do you navigate that and get to the root of it to replace that fear so you can just be love. And then you'll be your high vibration. So there's different ways to go about it. I watched this really interesting reel. This had to be a couple months ago now, of I think it was, Esther Abram Hicks. And she was answering a different question somebody asked. But I think it's the same concept that you could apply here. And because someone was asking about like an addiction problem that they had, I believe. It was something along those lines, which would take you down a rabbit hole, right? Going further and further down, kind of like down a path towards lower vibration, right? So it's the same concept with fear. So you just start chasing it. And I don't know, this must be relevant because I kind of forgot about the video right now until I'm talking to you. That's why I like holding on to the selenite crystal, because it always brings in good vibration and good energy from the ethers, universe. So the whole point is you start asking why and start chasing the questions. And who cares if it takes you down this spiral of darker thinking, darker questioning, down that dark rabbit hole, if you will, to what you would consider low vibrational energy or dark energy. It doesn't matter. You're chasing that fear spiral. So just go with it. Because if you go all the way down the spiral, guess what? It becomes inverted and you start to come back up. And then you end up on top with the high vibrational energy. It's really fascinating. So you can start asking questions like, well, why do we even have fear? Oh, yeah, so what if I'm afraid to move? It's because I don't trust people. And I don't trust people because no one's ever loved me, and people are always out to get me. And so you can see how like that would start to take you down, like further and further. And that's okay. You just keep going with it. Well, it's because my parents weren't there for me growing up. So I obviously don't trust anybody to love me. And I didn't have any friends. And I'm giving examples. So I would be like, why would I trust anyone now to be with me or to support me in any decisions I make? I can only rely on myself. I don't have anyone else to rely on. So I can't trust anyone for love. I can't really trust friends. They can only kind of be superficial to a point. So you just start to go down and keep going and questioning everything and start answering them and go as far as you can till you get to the root, to the main point, to the point of, oh yeah, it was actually when I was 12 years old and Billy Bob pick on the name Billy Bob again because I've done it before in the videos, so it just makes it easy. Billy Bob, you know, that's right, when Billy Bob's, his house burned down. I remember that. I remember thinking, you don't have anything. Like, what's the point? I was there with him when his whole house burned down and they lost everything. So, and he didn't even care. Like, so that's it. Like, if he doesn't care about that, they lost everything in their fire. My family didn't care when they fell apart. I don't really have any close friends, so it doesn't really matter what I do in life. Like, no one really cares what happens. But that fire is what really stood out to me, watching everything burn, because I thought that was just sad. The fire was sad. Because the fire was sad because that was everybody's stuff inside and all their memories. And I started thinking about those are memories of their family and their love and everything that they had. And I start thinking about now how your thinking's changing about how that moment you were thinking about how their family lost everything. So your vibration's changing. So you get to the root of, I'm just trying to give an example, but you get to the root of where it all could potentially stem from. So you're thinking about back when you were 12, how it was sad watching somebody lose everything. And that made you sad because that was love and possessions and family and being connected. And that mattered to you back when you were 12. And so love did matter. So that's where you go. So that means everything else is an illusion. Love did matter. Connected, family, friends, matters. So then you start going with that. Well, why did love matter to me at 12? Family was so important. Billy Bob had a family he loved so much, and I always had fun eating dinner there, and we laughed all the time, and his family was the best, and oh, we'd have so much fun riding bikes and playing football. For those of you who call soccer football, we call football, American football is different. But soccer or whatever sports examples you want to resonate with, but it could be a million things. So you can then see how your vibration starts to change because you start thinking of things that make you happy and all of those things. So then it changes how you look at perspectives. And then you think, well, it would be nice to have somebody I'm close to. It would be nice to have a friend like that. It would be nice to have a partner. It'd be nice to be close to my spouse like that, like we used to be. Because I haven't been close with my spouse again for a long time. And I miss that. I really haven't talked to my sibling in a while. It would be nice to see them again. I should probably call my mom. I haven't talked to my mom in a while, and I should reconnect with her. We were closer when I was younger, and it would be nice. Or I can just forgive and let that go and just move forward now. I don't have to dwell on the past of what's taken place in the family and move forward to enjoy the rest of my life with them. If you can. I mean, there's certain things I know that have happened in families that sometimes you can't. But that's how you can see sometimes if you chase, that's what I learned hearing her talk to somebody about addiction. Just chase it down the rabbit hole and it will turn it around and take you right back up to the higher vibration. So you can do that. What I did for myself was, so I do well, I journal a lot. That's how I will, if I'm not meditating, I will journal to process information. So I always write thank you letters to the universe, but I will also journal about like what the experience is and why do I have this fear, or why do I feel bad about this situation, or actually wrote a letter to in my journal to the person about why they made me feel bad about the situation. And I was surprised of all the people that they did hurt me that way, that there was one person I thought who would never do that. So and in doing that, I realized my fear was just an illusion. It just didn't matter. It was my own conditioning from being a child and the way I was raised to think certain things is what my fear was. It had nothing to do with the situation or this person. It was more what I was taught from society and how I was raised and what I was taught to believe. And it had nothing to do with anything else. So I realized at that moment, none of this is real. It's it's true. Fear's just an illusion. It's just in my head. It can leave now if I wanted to. And I said, yeah, I think I want you to go away now. I don't want to live like that. I don't need this fear. Thanks. I guess I'll tackle the next one when it comes along, but I don't need this fear. And so once that clicked, that fear's never come back. Because I understood what it was. And I was able to realize there's only love. And so once I understood that, I was just projecting my own reflection on it. It went away. So you have to be able to just use your own discernment too, because we also have serious traumas we've been through as human beings here on earth, having these experiences. And those are different types of fears that you also might need professional help for, depending on what type of trauma you're dealing with. So you also need to know what kind of fear you're dealing with. But in the end, really, the only thing is love. And we've all had some pretty difficult traumas as human beings because it's part of the life experience, unfortunately. But I think if we can turn to love, it does make it easier. And it helps our vibration, and it helps us live better and easier and stop living in such a fear-based mentality. And we try to live more in a loving-based vibration. And it tries to help us shelf what fears we can, or deal with the fears that we can and let those go. And that way, only the serious fears that maybe we need assistance with, we can get assistance for. And the rest are gone, which is a beautiful thing that we can actually do it ourselves because we're capable of it. We are really amazing beings who can do a lot of things that I think we're unaware of. But if our vibration is in alignment and we're working with the universe, we can really do incredible things as these loving souls if we want to. So your fear is probably an illusion, and you can replace it with love, especially love of self. And you just have to identify what the root of that fear is. I hope this helped you. I hope it shed a little bit of light, no pun intended, on what fear is and love is and high vibration. Thank you for watching. I genuinely appreciate your gratitude. Thank you for subscribing, for your comments, for your likes, and for being a part of the community. I am so grateful. You are more than welcome to participate in other videos that I post on Patreon. All my extendeds are always going to be on there. There's additional videos there. Or check out my website anytime for the types of private readings that I offer. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.